Faces, are
Should
you
I start
what?
right now? Should I start right now?
Yeah,
Starting in
I
three,
think
Okay.
two, one. Let's go.
All right.
All right, I put my.
Hey, you have plenty of time to explain your run, dude.
Alright, so I'm sure a lot of people are already familiar with the fact that this game is very derivative from the Spider-Man 2000 for PS1 and Dreamcast and all of that. You have much of the same character designs, combos, and stuff like that. So you're gonna see a lot of things look kind of familiar, but different at the same time. And here in this level, right now, the goal is supposed to be to interrogate a bunch of thugs in order to find the location of Uncle Ben's killer. But since the game doesn't really care if they're alive or not, you got to see him go around and just web yank them off of the roofs and speed through it that way. And as you already know, he's gone through all of that, so now he's about to head to the next level, which is very quick, very quick section right here. The next level's going to feature some skips, uh, really just one in particular. You're supposed to beat up a bunch of guards in order to progress through different areas, but because of the nature of this game, he's able to perform a skip by using one of the thugs, helping on, tying them up, and then hopping on their shoulders to get through the garage door here. And because of that, he's able to skip through a cutscene, which would have called for a different guard to move into a different area. And the reason that matters is because he has to go and defeat that guard in order to get the fuse so that he can unlock that garage door to progress to the next mission. And that saves, I don't even know how long it saves, but it saves a good portion of time. And then after that, he's going to perform another glitch, which I hate. Apparently, he just got it instantly, which is good. It lets him clip through the wall so that he doesn't have to go through the vent. And then he's going to finish up here by beating up a bunch of thugs using the web gloves, swing kick, and then web dome. And that's that. So level now the next level is going to be about Uncle Ben's killer. He's going to try and go and make his way all the way up to the warehouse in order to find it. It's going to feature a similar skip to what we saw before, where instead of fighting a bunch of thugs to get a key, he's going to use one of them to clip through a door, and that should take about a minute or so, maybe more, maybe less, but he's been very good with it. He's a lot better at it than I am. That takes me like 2 minutes just to set it up.
And meanwhile, Chris just going through MJ's section and coming on a really hard fight here, where he's just going to try to use gadgets the best he can on this first part of the mission. And the second part, a bunch of scary enemies with miniguns and stuff spawns in. So he's going to try to save Equalizer for that part of the fight and save some electric webs and suspension matrix to use instantly in the hope the Equalizer takes them all out. This can get really rough really quickly if he's not careful.
And unfortunately, we saw here this boss battle, really every boss battle in this game has an element of RNG into it. And there's really nothing you can do about it other than reset a run if you get really bad RNG. But all the RNG cares about is basically how the enemy is going to respond to your attacks. So you have a chance for it to not do anything. You can just dwell on it really easily, or it can make things really difficult on you, and you can lose a lot of time. Here, he's at Oscorp's Gambit, and I believe he's about to do a relatively new strategy that we developed just a couple of days ago, actually, where instead of using Web Dome,
Yes. Nice fight by
the
Chris.
swing kick. The swing kick isn't a full replacement for the Web Dome, but we've noticed it's more consistent than Web Dome for this fight, so we prefer using it over.
Yeah, Chris having a nice fight over on his screen. Just tried to use the equalizer, take a bunch of guys out, and web the rest of the dudes. Like getting this far in a run without dying, always good. He has one more wait and then the hardest mission in the run. So, other screen.
The level of phases at here doesn't have any major skips that you can use with glitches, so this is more based on just general performance and your ability to beat guards up at a specific point in time, which is fairly straightforward.
And the only thing to talk about with this wait here is Chris wants Miles to phone him as quickly as possible, because if Miles waits too long to call him, then he will legitimately lose time waiting for Miles to talk and the mission to spawn. You can use a backpack skip if you know the timing to do so. The timing with it is it's hard to do unless you're like Rebel and you have your splits open and you just memorize the exact time on the splits.
Alright, looks like he's just about finished with this level. And once that level finishes, he's going to go to Chase Through the Sewer, which features another skip. It's very similar to the ones we saw at the warehouse. Now, at the very start of this level, you're going to see that he has to defeat this guard in order to get the keys passed through the door. It is technically possible to glitch through this guard and get through the door like you do in the other levels, but it's honestly so difficult that it's just a lot faster for you to go and beat them up instead of trying to set up for the glitch. And the same goes for that skip over here with the two switches. It's just faster to just play normally in some cases. And now he has to find a guard that has a special wheel that's going to control the water flow. He has to beat him up, and he just did. Now he's about to take a bit of a detour back over here because he has to get a specific combo or a specific power-up for advanced web gloves, which essentially just act as buffs. They make his punch attacks deal a lot more damage, and it makes it a lot easier to defeat all of the other bosses left in this game.
Alright, so final mission for Chris. This is easily the hardest mission in the run. Follow the money, makes or breaks any and all heist runs, especially on a ultimate. As he just tries to stealth these guys in a very specific order. If you get caught here at all, it's an instant game over. And it's very easy to accidentally get caught here if you're not super careful. So try and take a very specific route through this first part of the mission.
There also is a checkpoint for getting to 9 guys left.
Which isn't really that helpful, honestly.
Yeah. But it's better than 18.
It's better than 18, but it changes all of the guys' spawns and messes with things.
Alright, Faze just got through Chase Through the Sewer. It's my least favorite skip in the game. It's my run killer, personally. He's about to go and fight Stalker, but before he does that, he has to traverse through this little subway tunnel. And he can do that just through a quick succession of web zips. Unfortunately, Stalker doesn't always agree with that, but even if he gets hit, it doesn't lose a whole lot of time, so it's not too big of a worry. Now we just have to see how Stalker's RNG decides to play with us this time.
And meanwhile, Chris, coming up on the first fight part of Follow the Money, he's trying to use Equalizer at the start to clear out some dudes, because he's going to reset checkpoint next part anyway. And quickly running out of gadgets, having to try to improvise these last few spawns on the first phase.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Stalker wanted to play nice with us, so he had to change tactics a little bit. What we tend to do is we try to get them with the basic combos, but if that doesn't work, they are less responsive to impact webbing, so he changed his tactic to just using that against him a lot, and that took him down fairly quickly too. Now we're up here trying to traverse Vulture's Lair, which is easily the best level, in my opinion, to practice for web zipping because it's very tight and it's very precise and
And
very good.
there's the first death. That's how
There's a
Equalizer can.
death.
Equalizer, yeah, that happens.
Yeah, this fight is like it is very dangerous.
Phase is just near the end of this level. He's going to take a couple of shortcuts. There's no glitches in this level that we've found yet, but luckily the shortcuts are so short that you don't really need glitches anyway.
Yeah, Chris got messed up there by the fact if you get too close to any of those trucks with the miniguns, they do just explode. And on Ultimate, that does like half a health bar. Like, it's like any little thing on this difficulty. It's really tough.
Alright, so now he's chasing Vulture, trying to get the stolen jewels back, and because of the nature of this level, there isn't really much that you can do to save time aside from just staying close to Vulture at all times. He has a sort of rubber banding effect where if you stay closer to him, then he'll move more quickly than he would if you were farther away. So there's a bit of a mixture of that, and in certain cases, trying to get to certain buildings before Vulture does, because he will often stop in order to deal damage, and you have to repair that damage as part of the level goes on.
Okay. Meanwhile, Chris made it through. Now he just has one final swing section before it is time. When he gets to this waypoint and the cutscene plays, it is time on his end.
Alright. Now this level with Vulture is a bit RNG dependent, just based on where routes he tries to take, but Vulture's been pretty good for now, so we're just about done with this level, and then we're going to go head over to fighting Vulture itself, which is another quick boss fight.
Okay, I end.
That sounds like Chris is done.
Yeah,
Twitch
it's
delay
my
messes
new
with me
record.
a little bit.
Alright.
New PB?
Yeah,
Alright.
it's my PB. And
Alright,
кстати,
nice.
ПК PB. ПК PB.
What was the time?
40 and 19.
41.
Yeah.
40 and 19.
First has Zaju, he have 40 and 30.
Now you might have
And now I
noticed
first.
Perfect.
Oh,
Thank you, Kirk.
yeah, it was
Nice.
very cool experience, and I was very nervous. I missed what the key for chose gadget, and I start more nerves. But this was cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you to
Alright,
you.
now
Yep, well done, Chris.
rewinding back to Vulture, you might have noticed that he went certain ways just to pick up a combo that's going to be useful later on for Green Goblin boss battle. He didn't manage to get the one cycle with the Vulture, but luckily it didn't really matter too much because even without being able to one cycle him, Vulture is a very quick fight. And here is one of my least favorite levels of the game for Corel, where you have to go around the level and fight a bunch of robot spiders, which are chasing after both you and Scorpion. And the reason I don't like it is because it's a very long level, and these robot spiders can just kind of go wherever they want. But luckily, it looks like they decided to play a bit nicer for Faze here, so he was able to find them a lot more easily, and he's able to take them out in a reasonable amount of time.
Alright, I think it's time for Ink's run now. Ink. Well, and let me write him to go. Alright.
Scorpion can be really easy or really difficult depending on his mood at the moment, so we're going to have to see how that looks. So it looks like he's going to play nice for us. He can go anywhere between like just 7 to 8 seconds to fighting to a full minute, depending on what he feels like doing at any given moment. And it's not even a matter of difficulty setting. He can just randomly change himself. And here you'll see at the very start, he powers himself up with web gloves and then does an aerial punch on the Green Goblin. And you can see that does a great deal of damage to his health, bringing his health down much faster than pretty much any other move that he could use. Now, you might be wondering, well, he has the advanced web glove, so why didn't you just use that and end the level here? The simple reason for that is because he can't. If he tries to do that, then the level will soft lock. So we have to play by game's rules just a little bit here and go through the level normally. But it's still a lot faster this way than to just not use the web gloves at all.
Alright, so Ing is right now in the hostage level. He has to get out of bounds here to get faster, and he has to like point in a specific spot for the hostages to like activate the trigger. No, to trigger the next level. Remember that this is hard mode, so he needs to be like very aware of the bad guys because they can deal a lot of damage in this mode. It's definitely very difficult.
All right, we're nearing the end of this level. A bit of this level is really just waiting for the Green Goblin to catch up to you. Luckily, unlike the Vulture, there's not really a set distance that you have to be towards the Goblin at any given point. You just have to make sure that you're actually attacking him. So that allows him to just run straight towards the bridge that the Green Goblin would otherwise go to instead of having to keep him in sight. Now, he just had to wait for Goblin to activate the last portion of his boss battle by just listening for his voice. And with that done, we're going to move on to the next level, which is, in a lot of people's opinion, probably the worst level for speedrunning, simply because of the nature of the skip. And this is where the combo that he got from the Vulture's battle comes into play. The Green Goblin is very difficult to fight normally, especially once he's knocked down here. He is very responsive to the player's actions. So, and there are just certain instances where he can just say no to damage. You can be playing normally, and the game will just decide to give him invincibility frames and make it so that you cannot do anything against him. So that's really nerve-wracking for a lot of speedrunners. That's why I didn't really go for that glitch in most of my runs. But he's gonna go for it here, and if it works, it should save about a minute of gameplay for him to be able to get back. And doesn't look like Goblin wants to do it yet, but he's gonna keep going. Hopefully, he'll get it soon. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, meanwhile, Ing is doing the bomb level. In this one, well, since it's hard mode, he cannot just web ball the bad guys, and that would like in easy mode you can kill the bad guys with one web ball, but in this mode, they die by two. So it's better for him to just throw them up with a web swing. Right now he's just deactivating, like saving the bomb, and that will be the end of this level.
Unfortunately, Faze wasn't able to get the offer skip down just right, so we had to get by it and just play like normal. So he lost a bit of time here, but it's not the end of the run. It's not the end of the world. He's gonna, he's just gonna beat Goblin up like normal here with a bunch of impact webs, and then we can move on.
Yep, Ing's going through the fourth level. This time he needs to get to Jonah's house because apparently no, it's not Jonah's house. I think it's the Buggles, the Daily Buggles, where Scorpio is waiting for him because he tries to kill Jonah.
Now, in this level, this is race against time. Spider-Man has to swing through the city in order to disarm a bunch of gas bombs that the Green Goblin has set off. He gave Spider-Man an ultimatum where he can either join him or oppose him, and if he opposes him, then he's going to threaten the city with his bombs. So Spider-Man has to go out of his way to disarm the bombs, and that's exactly what this level's for.
Ooh, all right. Ing couldn't get the one cycle Scorpion, so he now has to see this cinematic like that loses like 10 seconds. I think he will get it now. Alright, Scorpion's dead. That means next level is going to be the police chopper chase. It's not
All right.
it's not hard, but yeah.
Now that race against time is finished, he's going to go up against a bunch of Razorbats, and the game likes to trick you with its loading screen by advising against you. So it said it right here, against you going on a building to fight them. But as speedrunners, we know what we're doing more than the game does. So he's going to go here. He's going to use the advanced web dome to very quickly take out the wave. He's going to move on to a building below to do essentially the exact same thing. And then after that's done, he's going to finish it off by swinging around and then doing a swing kick on the last wave. You'll notice that there are going to be 2 Razorbats left over. It's going to take a little bit of time for them to spawn in, so he's going to go a bit closer to the end of the level, but just wait around before actually going to it so that he can take down the last 2 once they actually get here.
Alright, now that I just remembered, he's playing hard mode, so it's impossible to get one cycle Scorpion. So alright, no problem. He's going there. He's not having any trouble in this level. Like it depends also in RNG here, because some of the bad guys can really shoot you while in the air, and that could just end your swing. Therefore, you die. So yeah, he just need to be careful with that and pray for good RNG in this part.
During the last battle with the Razorbats, a part of the Goblin's glider broke off, so Peter took it home with him and he was able to find out that it came from Oscorp. So now he's looking through Oscorp to try and investigate the area to get a clue on the Goblin's identity. This level is normally supposed to be a stealth level, and a lot of casual players, including myself, really hated it when it came out, because this game was not made for stealth. But fortunately, as you can see here, that's not really a concern for speedrunning, because if you know the right routes and you know the ways that the robots spawn in when the alarm is raised, you can just speed through the level normally without any concern whatsoever. And so here, he's gotten through this level, and we're about to enter the second Allscorp level called Chemical Chaos.
Yep, and now recently Ink just did a little skip that takes around 3 seconds, which he skips the cinematic of being like in a building. And now he's just getting to the end of the whole police chopper chase section, and he's going to enter the Rhino fight, which can be quite difficult if you don't get the right combo and timing for it.
Chemical Chaos is similar to the last level, where you have an alarm system where if you get caught, then the alarm will go off and the robots will come and attack you. The robots have very different AI here in this level than compared to the last one. For example, if you get hit by a camera in this level, even if the alarm's on, they will immediately be alerted to your position, whereas with the last level, it would only turn on the alarm once. Now here, you notice he has to go through these rooms, and the reason for that is simply to disable the chemical weapon that Oscorp is creating. He skipped through a lot of stuff, unfortunately, due to the fast nature of this game. You notice that he had to attack someone to get a key to go through a room. And now here, he's at the very end of this level. He's deactivated the chemical weapon, and he's going to proceed as normal to the second to last Oscorp mission called Oscorp's Ultimate Weapon.
So Ink did a very good job on the Rhino fight here, because he made him like went into the behind the barrels, so he can just combo him to death in that part. He had a little trouble at the beginning to fight, but he saved it, so very good. Now, alright, he's doing the Venom chasing part. It could be quite tricky, because he wants to be like he wants to get to the part even faster, and if you do it extremely fast, you can actually lose. So you need to wait just a bit for Venom to catch up to you, actually.
Oscorp's ultimate weapon was defeated very quickly. It's a very quick level. Normally, you have to just, well, actually, always, you have to destroy a bunch of shield generators in order for you to get to the weak point of that giant machine, which is its neck. And he did that as we were talking here, and now he's trying to escape from Allscorp, and I wasn't able to provide much input from here, but for those who didn't play this game, essentially what happened is that he took a different route from what the game would normally want you to do, obviously, and in doing so, he skipped cutscenes. And now we are entering the second to last mission, Mary Jane Kidnapped. This is another follow the leader sort of mission, similar to Vulture. However, the goal of this mission is a bit different from Vulture, because whereas with Vulture you would want to go as close to him as possible in order to proceed, here it's actually faster for you to stay farther away. I don't tend to use this strategy myself, just simply because I haven't figured it out yet, but Faze is able to do it very well, so in doing this he's going to save, in his own words, I believe it said it saves about 1 or 2 seconds.
Now Ink's gonna enter the Venom's fight, the first Venom fight. He needs to have like a kind of good RNG here because he can appear in any part of the map. It's better if he appears like closer to you, so you cannot miss the combo there. I believe Face is like in the final mission, right? He's like ending the run soon.
Faze is in the second to last mission, so after this one he has to fight the Green Goblin, but
Oh,
unless we get unlucky, that's only going to take around 20 seconds.
all right. Well, not much to say in the Venom fight. You just need to be lucky, and you have to be also quick for him to appear. You have to react very fast. He's gonna end it soon, and there you go. And he's running out of web cartridges, which are very important for this run to have.
Alright, now we're about to enter the last mission. It looks to me, based on what he did and Escape from Allscorp, that he's going to try a relatively new strategy for dealing with the Goblin here. It is riskier than the older strategy of just killing him with impact webs, but if done right, it can save about 4 to 5 seconds. So we're going to see how it goes for him here.
And well, English just
Unfortunately.
okay. Oh,
All right, there we go. Phase is done.
face done. All right, what was the time?
Yeah.
What was face time?
I
I'm
got
not sure.
I got 27-29
27-29.
on my end. Mm-hmm.
27-29. All right, got it. Perfect.
How you feeling, Phase?
I will tell.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
The RNG was bad.
yeah, that was
Nothing
a
I
bit
could do about it.
that was a bit of an unfortunate run, and that's an unfortunate factor for this game. Is the fact that, like, I mean, in some other games it might sound like an excuse, but here it's literally true. Like, RNG can genuinely just mess up a run entirely, and it has nothing to do with the speedrunner's performance. The only way around that is to try and find strategies to minimize the RNG, which is what we've been doing lately. But we're still learning, still experimenting. And all
Yeah.
that.
This game is very heavy RNG. Very heavy.
You saw a few new strategies that we developed over just like the past week or so in this run, like in Allscorp's Gambit, the swing kick. I went over that earlier, and the last level for getting Goblin off the glider very quickly. That was another strategy that I actually came up with, and I didn't realize it was as fast as it was until FaZe got to looking at it, and he told me that it was like the new best strategy that he knew about for getting him off the glider in that level. So that was interesting.